Hey guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends with another champion guide. Welcome to the video, guys. Today's going to be a good one. We're talking about Mashald, a champion that any old school players out there remember when this dude was really bad. We have Hunter Dragon says, Mashald, man, he was my last pull. I still didn't build him, but fully booked and fully leveled. Just waiting for you to build him. Well, I've got you today covered, man, on my mini account. We also have Maka Elry, brilliant, Big Ash. Oh, what up, man? What's up, bro? Thanks for this video, guys. Big support. Please make a guide on the Lego Mashald. We would love that. Keep it up. You're the best, believe me or not. I do believe you, man. I really appreciate it. I'm undeserving, but I believe you. So again, as I mentioned, guys, the gear in today's video, I'll show you my main Mashald, +4 empowered pay to win, and then we'll do first though, we'll do the free to play version right now. So again, nothing too crazy in terms of the artifacts here. I want to show you really quickly, though, what this dude used to be like. Actually, you know what? Let me show you him now, and then we'll talk about how bad he used to be, because he was really bad. He was the worst legendary in the game for a long time in Raid. I want to say like the first 2 years of Raid. So on his A1, Bloodsucker, attacks one enemy, heals his champion by 30% of the damage inflicted, and then will attack all enemies under Leech. 6 levels here, but they're all damage. On the A2, Tornado, one of the most powerful abilities in the game, plays an increased speed and an increased crit damage on all allies for 2 turns. Plays a True Fear and a Leech on all enemies for 2 turns. Grants an extra turn, basically making this a 2-turn cooldown. So we can keep increased speed and increased crit damage up almost all the time. He also has a True Fear that lasts for 2 turns. A lot of people overlook this. They look at the increased speed, they look at the increased crit damage, they look at the leech, and they're like, wow, that's a lot. But True Fear for 2 turns is insanely good and rare in this game. He has it all basically on a 2-turn cooldown because you get the extra turn, ergo the cooldown comes down. Such an incredible ability, man. It's a nasty ability. Open Wounds. And for those of you who don't know, too, if you're a new player, True Fear gives a 50-50 shot at the champion who has the debuff of their skill of failing. Basically, they lose their turn, like a stun type effect. However, if their skill fails, right, if they don't get their turn, if the 50-50 goes in your favor against them, it puts that skill on cooldown. Whereas Fear, the skill doesn't go on cooldown, but they still get their turn missed. But they can use that same ability on the next turn. So, you know, if they put True Fear on Mashald and it didn't proc and he tried to go Open Wounds, it would put it on cooldown. On Open Wounds, it attacks one enemy, 100% chance of stealing all buffs from the target before attacking. Places a heal reduction for 2 turns, places 2 continuous heals on this champion for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown, and then damage increased by 50% against targets that have no active buffs. Because he's bringing Leech for 2 turns, essentially on a 2-turn cooldown, he's almost always getting an AoE attack with his A1 because it will attack all enemies under Leech. Man, he's a beast for Hydra, but he's basically a beast anywhere. He's such a good champion, has attack in dungeons by 34% as well. So what did he used to do? His Bloodsucker A1, it used to attack one enemy, heals his champion by 30% of the damage inflicted. That's it. Then they added the AoE on enemies under Leech debuffs. What a big buff to that A1. But check out how bad Tornado was. Plays an increased speed and an increased crit rate buff on this champion and one ally for 2 turns. Granted extra turn. And of course, you know they changed it to increased speed, increased crit damage. It was increased speed and increased crit rate. That's it. Now you got increased speed, increased crit damage, Leech, and True Fear on everybody. Man, that's insane. And then the A3, it used to be attacks one enemy, heal reduction for 2 turns, 50% more damage against targets under buff. Then they added all of that other stuff, the 2 continuous heals, the damage increases. Oh, that was already there. What else was it? Stealing all the buffs from the target as well. Dude, that was a massive buff. And I just want to say this so it's said, because I'm contractually obligated to say this in this video. This is why you never, ever unbind or get rid of a legendary champion, man. Because it could be the worst Lego in the game, like Mashald, and then he could be one of the best Legos out there, you know? So let that be a lesson to anybody. You did not want to be the guy who used a Mashald as food or unbound them in Guardian Ring or whatever, and then they gave him a massive buff. Really bad legendaries are the most likely champions to get really big buffs in this game. You know, just keep that in mind. Mediocre legendaries, sometimes they sit there forever as a Vault Lord. But the bad ones, you're actually, weirdly, maybe in an unorthodox way, you're more incentivized to keep those champions than the mediocre ones. Anyway, guys, I digress. Let me show you how I have them built here on this account. Here he is, Mashald. Oh man, he's weak. His base stats of 936 defense is really low for legendary. His base speed is okay, his attack is okay, and his HP is still a little bit low at 17.8, but we can work with it. We have, in terms of stat priorities, before I show you everything here, guys, obviously accuracy for that A2 and the A3 stealing all the buffs, right? We really want accuracy on this champion for obvious reasons. 2 great debuffs on the A2. We want speed on him as well. We want him to, the faster he is, right, we can keep increased speed up on everybody basically all the time if he's the fastest on our team, you know? Not just that, but everything else in his kit is so good, and that tornado ability is so nasty, right? We're trying to aim for 100% crit rate and as much crit damage as we can muster, and then just survivability on this champion. He's an attack-based champion, so his damage is based off attack, but this guy's going to deal some damage just based on all these AoEs on Leech anyway on the A1, especially if we go down and grab War Master. So I love picking up War Master on this champion. Here's the Masteries that we went with on this mini account. We went with the accuracy. We landed at Master Hexer, a chance of extending the duration of the Leech debuff that he's bringing. And then on the offensive side, we went crit rate, crit damage. We came down, we ended again, as you can see, with War Master. Of course, with every time we talk about Masteries here, go with what makes sense for you and the way that you're using the said champion. We also have Lore of Steel, because I think we have 2 basic sets on him right now. We have speed and accuracy, and then we have just 2 random pieces as well. So we have accuracy on the banner, crit damage on the amulet, HP on the ring, speed on the boots, HP percentage on the chest, and crit rate on the gauntlets here. Again, just trying to get that accuracy as high as possible. He's probably the champion on my entire mini account here with the highest accuracy at 227. We're only facing like level 22, 23 dungeons. So this is actually perfect to kind of get by with on this level of accuracy. There he is, guys. Let's go ahead and take him for a spin in a dungeon, right? So guys, I've been farming stage 20 of Ice Golem lately on this account because as you guys can see, we have a 2x reflex, and I don't have any reflex gear on this account at all. So let me put that team back together there. There we go. So I've been farming, just trying to get better artifacts, honestly, on this account. But you'll see, guys, just how much he's bringing to the table here in terms of control, in terms of he keeps himself healed so well, you know, with the continuous heals that he's bringing on himself and the heal on the A1. I mean, just a really, really special champion. So you can see the True Fear for 2 turns on all enemies right now. We also have the stun from my girl Syl the Drakes on this team. So getting by waves with this tandem, no big deal at all. We also have the freeze on Ninja. So man, it's weird when you look at this account. I don't have too many champions other than the free champions. Mashald was one of my first like non-free legendaries, but I have Rhonda, I have Ninja, I have Alexander the Sharpshooter, I have Deliana, I have Syl the Drakes, I have Ultimate Death Knight, you know, so it really just goes to show you that if you're patient in this game and you just stay in the game, even if you're not spending much, you'll get your hands inevitably on really good champions who can make progress in this game. My one issue on this account, and it's a big one, is I just don't play it enough to farm better artifacts and accessories. You know, I need to make a lot more progress. Given the champions that I have, I need to make a lot more progress here on my dungeons, right? And really get those artifacts up. I should be farming artifacts with my 50 auto battles every single day on this account, and unfortunately, I'm probably only doing it in Clan vs. Clan right now on this account. But anyway, woe is me, right? So we're going to get through this second wave fairly easily, I think, but you can see open wounds going in there, heal reduction. I want to show you, you guys already saw it, but I just want to show you how amazing the tornado is, extra turn, AoE attack on the A1. Let me show you his multipliers real quick here. Oops, here we go. So he's a 3.9 godlike rating on his A1. And I remind you again, that is an attack on all enemies under leeches. So he can deal some really, really serious damage with an AoE at 3.9 on his A1. He has a 6.6 godlike rating on his A3 ability as well. So he can definitely deal some serious damage. I know some people build him in there's a lot of different unorthodox ways to build this champion. You can build him in perception sets. You can build him in relentless sets to just try to get extra turns on top of extra turns on top of extra turns. I know some people run him in reflex and they shut off his A3. I'm not a fan of that. There's just too much utility in that A3 to shut it down personally, but I can see the logic behind it is more AoE attacks with the A1, and just the leech just always stays on the A2, so just trying to maximize that damage again. But I love the fact that he's stealing buffs and healing himself on that A3 as well. Other ways to build this champion, just all-out speed. You can build him in, cruel gear, in savage gear for just even more damage out of him. But again, you just got to keep the dude alive, most importantly. And I like just keeping him fast, keeping him going, supporting the team, CCing the enemies, and the damage is going to come, trust me. So again, here he goes. That's the open wounds. You can see he's not looking too healthy right now. He actually gets a spot heal from Apothecary there, but he's got the 2 continuous heals, right? This guy's a really, really cool champion. Before I let you go, I will, as promised, show you my main Mashald, who right now on my main account, I only use him in Faction Wars, and sometimes I use him in Hydra. But he can surprise you, man. He can in Hydra, or maybe he won't surprise you, depending on what you think of this champion, right? But for me, sometimes I forget about him. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I forget about this champion, right? And then I slot him into my team over whatever replacement. You guys do the same thing that I do. You just have like 4 or 5 champions, and you just keep subbing in the rest to try to, min-max your Hydra team. Probably I'm the only one because I don't think people care about Hydra that much. I enjoy Hydra, but that's what I do. And oftentimes it's Mashal gets in there and it's like, wow, that was so much better. It was shame on me forgetting about him. So you can see he's doing a lot of damage here. He's keeping that heal reduction up. He just brings a lot. And he's like the undefeated. Look at all those continuous heals on him, man. He's like the undefeatable champion. He's tough to take down for being so squishy. And that's why you load the HP more so than defense. A, it scales better, his HP, than his defense on this champion. And B, he's getting all those continuous heals. It really does stack up quite nicely, and he's healing himself enough to where as long as you stack the HP as high as you can, you're generally going to be pretty good, So Ninja, of course, is going to outdamage him because Ninja is I made this account, I want to say, like right after Ninja got released. It might have been the reason I made the account, honestly. I was like, you know what? Eventually I'm going to do a free-to-play account, and this champion looks really nasty. I think I'll just log in for 7 days, and I'll let the account run dormant just so I have a Ninja account sitting there. And I think that's why I want to say that's why I started this account, which was a really good idea in hindsight. That's why it's important. Maybe if there's another OP, I'm sure there will be, another OP like UDK type free champion or Ronda type free champion, maybe you just make an account and let it sit there and just grab it just in case you ever decide to in the future, Anyway, almost done with the Ice Golem here. It's not a fast run, I can tell you that. We could maybe get away with subbing out UDK or Apothecary on this team and putting in another damage dealer or a debuffer like Duck the Pierced. I think adding Duck the Pierced, who's my normal debuffer against Spirit Affinity on this account, I think he would probably get the job done. So I think probably getting rid of Apothecary would be best because we already have the increased speed anyway from Mashal, so it's a little bit redundant, and I don't think we need those spot heals. Nobody even died the entire battle, but we did get a reflex helmet. Let's see. Accuracy and defense on it. We're going to sell it. Unfortunately. But Mashal put out 1.29 million damage, almost as much as Ninja. And look at all those heals, almost as much as Scylla the Drakes. Not to mention, obviously, the leech on top of everything, the control. What a great champion, guys. Let me switch accounts. I'll be right back. All right, guys, here we have the main Mashal. I didn't realize, but we actually don't have great artifacts on him. we just kind of have a haphazard perception, speed, and immortal on the dude, right? So we just kind of threw some stuff together, basically. But you guys can see we have speed, we have HP percentage, and then we have crit damage on the gauntlets as well. Really trying to maximize that damage. 106 and 300% on the damage, 66k on the HP, 2800 on the defense, and attack is 4300 with 277 speed, 357 accuracy. As I said, I have him fully ascended +4. World's strongest Mashald, except for he's not in anything special when it comes to accessories. You guys can see the masteries that I have on him. But yeah, this guy is a beast. And we didn't talk about blessings, but I have him in Brimstone for obvious reasons. 100% chance of placing a guaranteed and protected smite debuff. And then we get the HP, the accuracy, and the speed as well. All those extra smites. Again, with the AoE on the A1, he can just deal some obscene damage in Hydra specifically, guys. I hope you enjoyed this guide of Mashald. Let me know if you want to see other champion guides out there in the future. Much love to all you guys, and as always, take care.